Hi, guys. Hi, everyone. Thank you for coming. Sweet but kind of sassy Susan, Kuchela Clem, Pain, Wit, which I see you with. I'm coming for you. We have Wisco Gal. No, sweetie, John is taking a hiatus. He will not be here, but I'll definitely let him know you asked about it. Hi, Barbie. No, and I hope and pray you don't get timed out. Just know Googlebot is having a little fun. Hi, Glenda. Welcome to the chat. Let's see. Who else do we have? Glenda is here. Okay, so let me bring Wit up, and we're going to get this party started. Hi, sweetie. How are you? I can't hear you.
Oh, sorry. Thanks for having me. Whoops.
Hi, dudes. Hi, 50 Shades of Bish. Oh, my God. Hi, guys. Hi. Welcome to the party. Girl, it's been a day. It's been a long. My new word is arduous, and I don't have to spell it again. It's not a new word, but it's been a day. So how are you doing?
I'm sick.
You're sick?
Yeah, I have a sinus infection. I had to go do the whole double COVID test, the PCR, the rapid.
Yep. All of this hurts. Yes, I had to do that today. Katie is not going to be joining us tonight. She forgot that she has a concert that was canceled. And so she is at the concert. She better mask up and everything. Hi, Gwen. Welcome.
I have a concert to go to tomorrow, and I'm kind of nervous because I really haven't been out like that since COVID.
And we have an alert came across my phone about 30 minutes ago. Hey, sister. Hi, my baby. Look at my baby. Hi, sis. And she became a member, girl. You too much for me. We got an alert about 30 minutes ago that the Delta variant, is really bad in our area. So it just came across as the alerts that come across your phone. And I'm like, oh, shit. But yeah, but I had to get that stuff done today. And I got a shot in my butt because my sinus says, hi, Dr. Melanie. Welcome, baby. Welcome. But I'm feeling better. It seems like, this morning I woke up, I wasn't as bad, but I can still feel myself. I'm not even killed. But I'm good. And I was trying to sleep, and I forgot that All About the Tea was going live at 2:10. So I was laying in my bed and I'm listening, and then I get a text from Monica, and she told me, I made you a mod again. I was like, okay, so I'm laying in the bed modding, and I was like, oh God, but it was a really good live. I enjoyed it. So if you guys haven't seen that live, you need to check it out. Hi, Grandma Six, how are you? Welcome, baby. Welcome, sister. Welcome, everybody. So on the agenda tonight, Debbie is going to be in chat. Debbie is not feeling well at all. When I talked to her, she sounded like I did Thursday morning on Live with Yvette. That's how bad she sounds. So
I feel like everybody's sick right now. I have double ear infections and a sinus infection. I feel like everybody's sick right now.
Yes. But hi, Anna. Welcome. So she's not going to be joining us, but I promised Stephen Avery, and we're going to do Stephen Avery, and we're going to cover a little bit of R. Kelly. Matter of fact, we're going to do R. Kelly first.
Talk about it because it's got me mad. That I sent you today. I'm done with R. Kelly. We keep finding more stuff out about him that's even, not that anything could be worse than what he's done, but we find out more all the time throughout this entire situation. That's gross.
Well, the man believed he can fly. He believed he can touch the sky. He was thinking about it every night and day. Then he driving around the schools allegedly going beep, beep, toot, toot,
You cracked me up. You said beep, beep.
Then he want to step in the name of love. It's like, R. Kelly, R. Kelly, R. Kelly, Robert Sylvester, Kelly.
I can't even believe it. And like, I didn't know this was a thing until that whole Lifetime situation came out.
He's being charged with racketeering. God damn. Oh, R. Kelly. Whoo, hi Tina Elaine, welcome to the chat. So, okay, we have a lot of people in.
Break the news about
Yeah.
what happened today.
So, okay, well, this is for over the last, I don't know if you guys saw the little 9-minute, almost 10-minute rant I went on about Brother Polite. If you didn't, please go check it out because it is totally, totally disgusting. So I did that one the other day. I pre-recorded it because I was so mad. My eyes were red from the allergies and they were bloodshot. It looked like I hadn't slept. My nose was all red, but I didn't give a hoot. Then I took myself off of camera. But let's get into R. Kelly. So, Mr. Kelly. So the trial started on Wednesday, guys. On Wednesday. He's charged with racketeering and violating the Mann Act. Now, the Mann Act was put into place June 25th, 1910. Okay. And what the Mann Act is, it's a federal law that criminalizes the transportation of any woman or girl for the purpose of debauchery. Let's just say debauchery. Okay. We're not going to use the P word. We're going to say debauchery or any immoral purposes. Okay. So, and it's named after Congressman Robert Mann of Illinois. Okay. So that's the Mann Act. So he is in federal court in Brooklyn. And this man is charged with racketeering. Okay. This is not just a little, this is not a little, I'm sorry. I just got a message. Hold on, guys. Let me see what this is.
Hi, can I ask you a question?
Yes, ma'am.
What can we and can we not say on here? Like, can we talk about particular diseases that might not be flattering, but it's the appropriate vernacular for it?
Okay, let's spell it out just to be safe. You know, like HERPES. Okay, let's just try to be, because when you do true crime, it's really hard to get it monetized, but it's the way you do it.
There's certain things you can't say, like you can't say red rum backwards.
You can say red rum backwards, but you can't say yes. Okay? Red drum back, that's the other word backwards. So that's what we're going to do. So right now, he's in federal court in Brooklyn, and he has charges pending in Minnesota and Illinois. Now, this is crazy. So they're saying that he psychologically dominated and sexually dominated girls and boys and women over, and recording all of these acts that he was performing with them, including the minors. Okay. And, and he had other people doing his bidding to get him other victims. So that's the Mann Act.
That's a particular word that is very heavy in society, if y'all can get that correlation.
Yeah. And what R. Kelly is saying is that these people were groupies and they were dying to be with him.
That's narcissism right there. That is narcissism at its freaking finest.
Well, let's just think about it. Some of them could have been dying to be with him.
Some of them could have been, but to say that those children were, that's like...
Some of them could have been dying to be with him.
I don't even.
Like Epstein. Yes. Oh, so I watched the special. I watched the special on Jasleen. Okay. I watched the special on her family. Her dad was crookeder than all outdoors. She ran to America after the dad supposedly fell off a boat or whatever. They found out that he had taken everybody's pension. Hi, Miss Kelly Kells. This whole special is on is it on Netflix? But her whole Jasmine Maxwell, you know, she was with Epstein. Her whole background is shady, just pure D shady.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
Okay, so I watched that, but I enjoyed that. So let me get back to R. Kelly. This is not even funny. I'm serious. So on Wednesday, the young lady that was on Surviving R. Kelly, Jashonda Pace, whatever her name is, she was the first witness to testify. She said she met him when she was 14 years old. She was a fan. She would go to the court every day when he was at his 2008 trial for that other thing he did, you know, that Dave Chappelle was laughing about, you know, the Pete incident. So he was found not guilty of that due to the lack of evidence. But they say the lack of evidence because the girl at the time that was in the video, who's now, I think, in her 30s, and I think she's testifying, if I'm not mistaken, she said it wasn't her, and that her mom and dad said it wasn't her. So that's why he got off of that. But this young lady, Jahanda, was there every day outside the courthouse, okay? She attended this trial every day. She met R. Kelly's manager when she was at this trial. So when she was like a year later, when she was, not a year, but a year and a half later, nearly a year, because she was 14, almost 15. So then she turned 16. And a friend of hers who was an adult knew R. Kelly, knew his manager. She got invited to a party, okay? And she went to his house, and they hung out for a while. And then, but she lied, and she told him she was 19 years old. Do you guys get this? She told him he was 19 years old when they first met. So a few weeks or a few days later, she went back to R. Kelly's house. He gave her a bathing suit to put on and told her to walk back and forth. As she was walking back and forth, I guess she was taking off this bathing suit. He began to kiss her and perform an oral act on her. Okay. Then she said she got nervous and she told him her real age, which was 16, and showed him her state-issued ID. R. Kelly says, "What is that supposed to mean?" Sweet pecan sexy sassy, so I gotta moderate myself. Hi, Big Bad Wolf. Welcome to the party.
Said I gotta moderate myself.
I'm just trying to see what they're saying so far. But oh my God. Yes, guys, please, if you haven't liked the video, please, well, you like it, thumbs down. It all means engagement. It all puts me in the algorithm. And if you want to share the video, please share the video. I would really appreciate it. Hi, Debbie, sweetie. I was just telling them that you're not feeling well. Thank you for being here to support us. Hey, sister. Oh, my God. 50 Shades. Don't forget to comment. Yes. So he said, what does that have to do with him? But that didn't stop him. She said she felt comfortable. She said even after she told him about her age, but get this, she performed that oral act on him. Okay?
Yeah, but she's a kid. That's still...
And then, you know, she saw him for a few months and they were in the middle of having, you know, a session. And he wanted her to use a toy on him. She told him that was GAY, and he slapped her. So she used the toy and she was giving him oral at the same time. Hello? That was in 2009. Now,
we gotta talk about the other thing.
What other thing? Can you?
The HERPES.
I am getting there. I'm getting there. So that was her. She testified on Wednesday. Oh my God, this is good. So his doctor, Dr. McGrath, testified on Thursday. He's been his personal physician for 25 years. He said back in June of 2000. Remember, she went with R. Kelly 2009. Back in June of 2000, he showed the symptoms of HERPES. He showed all the symptoms.
Yeah, but it was a false negative, right?
Yes, the test kept coming back negative. Okay. So, but he knew he had it. He told him that he needed to let his partners know, or anybody that he was thinking about having relations with, they needed to be informed of his condition. He never did that. They don't have any evidence of him being treated for HERPES until 2007, when he put him on the medication and he started treating him with Valtrex. Not only is he being charged with racketeering and all of this stuff, he's also being charged with an underlying act that he was knowingly infecting women.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. So that's a public health law. And it requires people who have infectious diseases to notify their partners about their diagnosis, which of course he didn't, because he still thinks he can fly.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
As someone that's in that field, like, you can theoretically, if you give someone HIV and you don't disclose that you have HIV and you're positive.
Oh, yeah, you can go to jail for that.
You can go to like manslaughter. Like, they can get you on some serious charges for that.
Somebody was actually tried for that. That was like 8-9 years ago. Oh my God. So what do you think, Whit?
I just feel like with R. Kelly, I just keep thinking that, can it really get any more low than this? And then he does. We find something else out.
Yes, because one of the young boys is going to be testifying as well.
It's just a damn shame that they let this man get away with this for so long. They let him go.
Crystal, did you not hear me say he thought he can fly? He believed he could touch the sky.
Got us with the toot toot beep beep.
Oh my God. I'm serious. Between R. Kelly, Robert Durst, and these other trials I'm watching, I'm like, can it get, but R. Kelly, there's no cameras in the courtroom. So everything I'm getting is coming from Twitter. I look at the news feeds. I look at CNN. I am just rolling. I was like, oh my God. Bump and grind, ain't nothing wrong. Keep it on the down low. You know what that song came from. Let's keep it on the down low. Nobody has to know. Sister, if you want to come up, I'll drop the link for you. Oh my God. Payne, thank you for becoming a member. Thank you, Payne. Oh my God. Oh, I'm sorry. Wait, stop staring at me like that.
No, it's not you. I was just looking at something about Stephen Avery.
Okay.
Sorry.
So
I'm still paying
attention.
Nothing. I don't have anything else to say anymore. He's gross. This whole situation is gross. They let him go for too long. He thought he could. I don't know. I don't have like the R. Kelly analogy. He thought he could fly, apparently. It's just the best part of the night so far was the toot toot beep beep. Okay,
I'm serious, but let me see. We made this joke years ago when I was living in Virginia Beach, and I was laughing. I was like, well, I said, this was the 2000. No, I was here in Houston, and when he did his first trial, and he got out of that, and then he went to McDonald's. I said, well, he's gonna be going to the school next. Two. It's not funny. It is not funny.
It's not, but at some point, it's just so hard to not, like, it's hard to not make a joke of it, because I shouldn't even say it, but like, I mean, people just let that go on for so long. And also, like, the innuendos with the songs is kind of funny.
Yeah, he's got, I mean, if you think about his songs, think about the catalog. You can make those songs be anything you want them to be right now. But when he met this lady and they were at this hotel or whatever, and she and her sons were there, and, he offered to help her out only if she did certain acts for him.
He's gross. I don't know why anybody let him go.
He's giving that honey love. Seriously, you can take his songs and make it to be anything right now. I'm not making fun of the victims. God knows I'm not.
No, it's awful.
But it's horrible. But then I'm looking at these young girls. But wait a minute. So Aaliyah, at the time, when he got with Aaliyah, and his manager.
Wasn't Aaliyah like 15 when they dated?
He was 27. He was 27 and she was 15. But but he denied knowing her age. He knew it. His manager got up to testify, and I couldn't get all of that because I was checking, but they hadn't tweeted it out. He testified too that he knew the age. His old manager testified. He knew her age. He knew it. So yes, he is a vile person, and he is exactly where he belongs. And I don't feel, when I watched Surviving R. Kelly, I was done. Now, some of these women, I took into question, same thing with Bill Cosby and stuff like that. But some of them, Ariel is supposed to testify next week.
I don't know who she is.
So she's the one whose mama and daddy were all over the news and going to the hotel with the news crew to try to find her and trying to get her to come downstairs. Yeah, so that's her. So, you ready for Stephen Avery? Okay, what else y'all have to say about R. Kelly? Because I'm tired of beating.
I just want to say this. That man is a master of manipulation. He had all those parents and all those kids fooled.
No, he didn't. Not all of them.
Most of them.
First of all, how you be fooled when you knew he had a relationship with a 15-year-old girl?
I think the thing is, though, I feel like when it comes to anything that is like assault or harassment in that category, if you get what I'm saying, it used to be something that was swept under the rug, and it's now something that we more openly speak about. So I think for so long, people just placated his behavior because it was like the unmentionables.
Okay, here's the thing. R. Kelly wants to help your daughter or your son, but he only works in the studio, which I was told he slept in there most of the time. But he wants your daughter to come at 2:00 in the morning or be there at 12 midnight because that's his working hours. You as that parent should be right there in that booth, right there in that studio.
I agree with you.
Welcome, sweetie. You should be right there with your child. I don't care. I would even take a nap. I would drink coffee all damn night. Every time she got up to move, I'll be right there with her. You move, I move. We all move together.
Y'all go at the same time.
So, no, I hold the parents as much as him, his whole crew, his management team around him. They are all responsible for what happened.
I agree. I feel like the people that worked for him that knew this was going on should be held on charges.
They all should. But now they want to testify. Okay. Right. Okay.
They want to save their behind.
Because you were recruiting these young girls and these, you always at McDonald's. Really? Okay. You always run. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I'm sorry. But
I'm with you. I'm totally with you. They should be held. That just is what it is. They should be held on charges. They condoned and enabled this bad behavior.
It's just sad. It's sad, 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 sad.
And then he's out here giving diseases to people knowingly.
Toot. He said keep it on the down low. Nobody has to know. I'm just saying. That's what he said.
His music really is good for making innuendos out of it. You're not wrong.
I'm serious. Think about his titles. Think about the titles of this man's songs.
That was funny.
I'm sorry. He said at McDonald's was next to the pharmacy where he picked up his meds. Oh my God. Thank you, Debbie. Come on now. Really? I couldn't believe when I watched Surviving R. Kelly, I was like, I'm just like, I said, you would be in jail. You would be in jail. You would be in jail. Oh my God. I'm just like, it is just so sad. Okay, my sister said she got timed out.
Everybody is getting timed out.
It's the Google bot. I'm sorry.
Barbie got timed out in the beginning.
Oh my God. Barbie got timed out yesterday. 2, I'm sorry, baby. It's a Google bot. It's nothing my mods are doing. I'm so sorry. Oh my God. Okay. We're going to get to Stephen Avery. I'm going to play this little clip. And I have it all lined up. Are you ready?
Yeah, let's do this.
Okay. Are we finished toot beep beeping?
Yeah, we're done toot beep beeping
Okay.
for the evening. Are you gonna play your little intro?
I thought I played that.
I might have missed it. Sorry.
Did I play my intro, guys?
Wait, I also have another question for you.
What?
Are you drinking anything this evening? Any 19 crimes?
Tea.
Oh, okay.
Tea. Okay, so Barbie signed out. Sister, sign out and come back in, sweetie. Yeah, I'm drinking tea. So that's it. No 19 crimes tonight. Not tonight. This is
There'll
serious.
be 0 crimes this evening.
Yeah, there'll be 0 crimes this evening. Although R. Kelly done committed every crime that we can think of.
Right?
So no 19 crimes. Okay, let me get this little Dr. Melanie. All right, let me share my screen. I'm going to play this for you guys so we can see this. Oh, don't you hear my sinuses, Whit?
I do. I hear you.
Okay, hold on. Let me make sure it's big enough so everybody can see it. Full screen layout. There we go. This is what Whit wants to discuss. Here we go.
A criminal case. The new Netflix documentary series, Making a Murderer, has millions of us dissecting and debating the bizarre story of Stephen Avery. And so tonight we're going to take you to the place where it all unfolded to meet the central players and examine the evidence the documentary left out. Here in this tiny, frozen over speck on the map, the scene of a crime that has become a national
that's beautiful.
obsession.
Now to a hot trend taking over TV, a Netflix documentary series that has captivated the nation.
Making a Murderer explores the strange legal odyssey of Stephen Avery, who in 2007 was sentenced to life in prison without parole for the murder of a 25-year-old woman. In the 4 weeks since the series was released, a frenzy of binge watching, fueling conspiracy theories and outrage, both among those who think Avery was wrongly convicted, framed even, and those who think the documentary is at best misleading.
Wake up, Netflix!
Thank you, Nancy.
I come to Manitowoc County, Wisconsin.
After having absorbed 10 hours of this story, to actually be here is strange.
To see if I can wrap my head around the mystery at the heart of this saga. Is Stephen Avery a killer?
Yes. Is Stephen Avery a killer? Whit?
So I'm going to say that my gut says he did not do it.
Okay, guys. Everybody in the chat, do you think?
Should we do a 1 and a 2?
Hell no. No, we're not doing a 1. Okay, so here's the case of a Stephen Avery. So, he's serving a life sentence, okay? He was convicted of killing this young woman. She's a 25-year-old photographer. Her last, what is it? Hallback? I forgot. What's her name? Kathleen? No. What's her full name? Hallback?
I thought it was.
Her last name is Hallback. I can't remember her full name, and it's sad because I just had it on the tip of my tongue, guys, and I'm so sorry. So they did the documentary of Making a Murderer, okay? And they go in. Now, it was these 2 young ladies. They went and they spent 10 years doing this documentary about Stephen Avery. The young ladies' names were Maura and Laura. They moved to Wisconsin to do this thing, to interview. They had access to the grandmother, to the father, to everybody. And they went down and they made this movie. And they were talking about the evidence left out, okay? Now, he was wrongfully convicted and served 18 years for an assault that he did not do, okay?
Yeah, it was, his charges were RAPE and attempted murder, I believe.
Red drum.
Sorry.
Yes. So, she was on the beach. Her family was looking for her. They couldn't find her. And what they're saying is that the cops they guided her in doing the description of the person that assaulted her on the beach, is what they're saying. Thank you, sister. So when she went in and she did the drawing, it matched perfectly to just about another drawing that they had of him, because he had doused a cat with lighter fluid and threw him on a fire. This is the man that you think is innocent, okay? So,
yeah, but I mean, people, like, here's the thing, just because somebody did that in their past, and I'm not condoning that behavior because that's god-awful behavior, doesn't mean that they committed this crime.
Okay. I'm gonna
and
give
you
that.
have to, for me, you have to be able to get past the reasonable doubt. If there is any reasonable doubt, I am not okay with sending someone to jail, because there is that percentage that the person could not have done it.
Okay. So her name was Teresa. I don't know why I couldn't remember that name. Teresa Hallback. So, okay, so he got off in 2003. He was released after serving 18 years for that. It come to find out, wasn't him. That was proven by DNA. Okay. He got out. 2 years later, Teresa Hallback, he was a photographer for this car. You go out, take a picture of the car, and then you put it in this ad to sell it.
Yeah, well, like Auto Trader or something like that.
Auto Trader, yes. Well, he had kept calling because she had been out there before and taken pictures of other cars that were for sale. This time he was calling. He did a star 67 or whatever it was. He blocked his number out, star 69, blocked his number out, leaving fake names. He asked for the young woman that had been there before. So she goes out there to take the picture, but she had already told her friends that she felt very uncomfortable around him, and that she just did not want to go back out there again. But this time it wasn't. He said he gave his sister's name, okay, which she was the one that was selling the vehicle. It was her car. So she goes out and she's never seen again. Okay, never seen again. Never, ever.
Can I just say one thing?
Yes.
There have been plenty of people in my life that creep me out that I try to avoid. But I don't think they would red rum me.
Oh, thank you, Wisco. The Iceman used to torch cats for fun. And he
Don't get me wrong, it's bad behavior. And someone said it perfectly. Like, do I think he was an unsavory character? For sure. Do I think he's a red rummer? No.
Okay. All right. Hold on. Let's go back to this. We're going to go back.
The documentary begins here in 2003. Stephen Avery had just been released from prison after serving 18
She
years
don't even look
for a
comfortable
rape
around
he
her.
didn't commit.
I'm glad you're home, honey.
That's his mama.
Exonerated by DNA evidence. But then, 2 years later, just as Avery is in the middle of a multi-million-dollar lawsuit against the authorities who put him away,
$36
those
million.
very same authorities charge him with murder.
I want people out there to know that I didn't do it. I'm innocent.
The once celebrated face of wrongful convictions, now accused of killing and dismembering Teresa Halbach, a young photographer who'd come to the Avery family's scrapyard to take pictures of a vehicle he was selling. Her charred remains found near Avery's trailer.
It's hard enough, going to prison for something you didn't do. And you got to do it all over again?
The story caught the attention of two aspiring filmmakers, Moira Demos and Laura Ricciardi, who packed up and moved to Wisconsin.
We were there because we wanted to ask bigger questions about the system. Is it guilty beyond a reasonable doubt? And is the process fair?
Okay, Whit, I want you to tell me, what makes you think he's not guilty?
The DNA evidence is not consistent. The cops were also in his trailer and could have gotten blood out of his sink because he had an open wound on his hand. If you notice, there was no DNA evidence on the key of the car.
Nope, there was none. You're right.
If he was actively moving that car during that time, I mean, I could go through this for hours.
Well, I'm asking because look, okay, I'm going to agree with you on the keys. They searched this whole place. They never found the keys until they went, but they found her body, cut up, everything else. Okay, they did all of that. They went through that whole house. They never found the keys until they went back in again. All of a sudden, the keys appeared. Yes, ma'am. Stop raising your hands. Yeah.
Sorry, I even do that at work. So yes, but also he was suing the Manitowoc County.
Yeah, for $36 million. Yes,
that was more than they were even worth.
Okay.
So with that being said, how is that not ammunition for cops to come in and plant something on him? And I also think that his nephew, Brendan's older brother, and Scott Tardick, Tardick, I think his name is, who is Brendan Dassey's mother's husband, so Brendan Dassey's stepfather, had something to do with it. Have you watched season 2 of Making a Murderer, where she goes through everything?
Let me tell you what Katie said, okay? Katie's not here, but Katie sent me a message. She said she thinks that Bobby did it, his nephew.
Yeah, I think he did it, and Scott Tardick is helping him cover for it. I also believe, and I could be wrong on this, but I believe I found somewhere where Scott Tardick is connected to the police situation in that area.
So just so you guys know, his appeal was just turned down. Okay. The Wisconsin Court of Appeals rejected all of several arguments that he's made over the years, including the effectiveness of his attorneys at the trial and for some of the evidence that was handled by the prosecutors. So what's her name? Kathleen Zellner. Okay. She is, she says that it looks like they're nearing the end, but there was a new witness that came forward. Okay. And they're saying that the witness claims to have seen a witness is he's a delivery driver, a truck driver. His name is Thomas something. He claims to have seen a shirtless Bobby Dassey, which is who Katie thinks did it. And that's Brendan Dassey's brother and Avery's nephew, and another unidentified male pushing a Toyota RAV4 down the Avery road towards the junkyard, and in the early morning of November 5th, 2005. Now, here's my question to you, Whit. Stephen Avery was he was there that whole day. He didn't see his nephews. He didn't see him.
I don't think necessarily that you have to.
48. I'm sorry. Yes.
You have to really think about how big of a space that is. That is acreage upon acreage upon acreage. You could be. I mean, there were several, from my understanding.
But her body was found burned damn near right next to his house.
Could have done it at night when he wasn't paying attention.
I can't hear you.
They could have done it at night when he wasn't paying attention.
But how you burning something?
Or he could have been out and about.
Right there. His trailer is right there. How are you burning something?
But they're country people are like that, but they burn shit for no reason. Now, that's not to say that maybe he wasn't there when they started burning and he came home and they're actively burning and he's not able to see what it is. It just seems a little weird to me, all of these like nuances in different ways. And I've watched what you are showing before, and I totally get it, because there's ways that I could see that he's guilty. But for me, this provides a significant amount of reasonable doubt. But he had a target on his back. The Manitowoc County, they didn't want to look guilty. And listen, it is not normal for somebody to get exonerated. Like, the chance of you being exonerated in the first place are significantly small.
Well, they're saying that they had it out. The whole family had a reputation, is what they're saying.
Yes, the whole family had a reputation.
Yes. So here's the thing, the whole family. Now, they're saying Brandon, or his defense team is, and then the witness came forward, said it. Wisconsin doesn't want to hear it.
Because if they don't want to spend the $36 million.
So, but they have insurance for that kind of stuff. They have insurance.
Yeah, but you use your insurance significantly increases. That's any type of insurance.
I'm listening to your argument. Okay, what else you got for me?
I mean, I just feel like the whole thing seems a little suspect. And don't get me wrong, unsavory character. Would I go hang out with Stephen Avery?
No.
Yeah, ex-boyfriend helps police move. Who is the ex-boyfriend?
Yeah, who is the ex-boyfriend? Because
is it Teresa's ex-boyfriend?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Mod 148 has joined the party. Cooch, okay. What did Cooch say? She said, Cooch, I totally agree. Wait a minute. What did Cooch say? See, I done lost something.
I can look.
Okay. Cooch says that I love this debate. I agree with one of you, but let's see if the other convinces me. No, okay. So what else you got? I'm serious. So besides the car keys, okay, look at the preponderance. Okay, so DNA in total, the DNA was found in the trunk, and that was about it. His blood DNA was found in the trunk. Yeah, in the trunk, okay. Which is strange to me. And her very blood was strange in the car, which was really strange to me, since supposedly it was all done someplace else, but her blood was in the car. Right. So I'm looking at all sides. I'm looking. So I want you to convince me that he did not do this. Convince me. I want you to convince me. Okay. So I think the case in general was mismanaged. And I personally feel like anytime you have a mismanaged case where people are going in and out constantly and your crime scene isn't being preserved, you've got a problem. By rule of thumb in court, you have a problem. Because you have too many people's DNA being spread around in there. There's too many things going on. So that's one thing. Okay. So let's listen to a little bit more. Wait a minute. We're going to listen to a little bit more, because, I mean, I watched it, and then I had to go back and I found this. I said, oh, my God, let's see what they have to say. I want to see if they're going to convince me too, because have you watched that yet? It's because it's convincing. Yes, I have. That's why I'm playing it like I'm playing it.
They ended up devoting a decade to the project, gaining extraordinary access to the main players, from Avery, who spoke to them by phone from jail.
They wouldn't look at nobody else.
Oh my God, that looks good. I love snow.
To his family waiting on the outside.
They don't care. They'll
That's
take
his
an
dad.
innocent man and make him guilty, and that's what they're doing right now.
To Avery's defense team, who argued that their client was being railroaded, alleging that the local sheriffs, furious about Avery's lawsuit, framed him.
How many times will Stephen Avery be charged in Manitowoc County with rapes he didn't commit?
The filmmakers capture key moments.
Let me tell you, this is a red letter day for the defense.
Like when Avery's attorneys discover that a vial of their client's blood, evidence from his first wrongful conviction, appears to have been tampered with.
Okay, right there. When they said the vial had been tampered with, okay, right there. When they said that vial had been tampered with, here's my problem. The blood has to go in the vial. You have to put the needle in to get the blood in there. They are saying that there was a pin mark, a prick in the vial, but that
It might have been a bigger diameter, and I think it was a bigger diameter by which you would put like the connecting needle would be.
But there was no blood missing from the vial.
I mean, it's still tampered with. Reasonable doubt.
Oh, her ex was odd. Tell me about her ex, because here's the thing.
I've heard that theory too, but that's not something I've explored.
Okay, so, they're bringing up the vial just like they did in OJ's trial. Oh, God, that was a trial. Oh, Lord, that was a trial. But the blood has to go in there. I watched the nurses do it. So, it goes in. You got the thing. It goes in a vial. So then when you're drawing the blood out to test it, you have to put a needle in to get it out in order to get the sample that you need.
You do, but it also goes by gauge size.
Okay.
So there's a particular size of the needle.
Okay,
so
let's
what
look.
they're saying is more than likely. So what ends up happening is when you do that, it kind of seals back up because it's this silicone type of situation. If the needle gauge is bigger, it's not going to seal it back up the same way.
Okay, let's look. Let's look.
Some officer went into that file, took a sample of Stephen Avery's blood, and planted it in the RAV4.
Also in the film, we see that the lawyers believe the police planted something else, the key to Teresa Halbach's Toyota.
When you came into that bedroom the first time, there was no key on the floor, was there?
That's correct.
It wasn't discovered until the 7th search of Avery's bedroom.
7th
And
search.
it just so happened to have been found by 2 members of the local sheriff's department who had recently been deposed in Avery's civil lawsuit.
Sitting here today.
See, they shouldn't have anything to do with any investigation.
Or members of the
I
department.
agree.
Stephen Avery.
I'm still left with real reasons to suspect that.
Making a Murderer has transformed Avery's former defense attorney, the eloquent and emotional Dean Strang, into a sort of digital age folk hero.
Redemption will have to wait, as it so often does in human affairs.
We met him in his office.
Okay, so we don't want to see that.
Steve Avery, and then I'm coming after you.
Kratz blames the filmmakers.
This is not a documentary at all. It's still a defense advocacy piece. Of what they pick and choose causes only one reaction and only one conclusion, that Mr. Avery was innocent.
Kratz points out that there was a mountain of evidence against Avery. Halbach's remains and her car, both found on his property, and Avery's DNA found on that key.
See, they did say it was
Kratz
found,
says
but
only
first they said
discovered
it
on the
wasn't.
7th search, because that's when it fell out of the back of this bookshelf.
Ah.
Kratz also points out that the jury rejected the framing defense.
We, the jury, find the defendant, Stephen A. Avery, guilty of first-degree intentional homicide,
in part because they saw vital pieces of evidence the documentarians excluded, including that Stephen Avery's DNA from sweat was also found on the hood latch of Teresa Halbach's RAV4.
Why is that important? Because you can't plant, first of all, sweat.
There we go. You can't plant. There you go. You cannot plant sweat. Now what?
Right, but in the same token, she was supposed to be taking pictures of a car that he was showing her, so he could have literally opened the door.
But why was he opening? No, it was on her, under her hood, the hood latch. Her hood latch.
I don't know. I don't buy it. I feel like you probably can. You also have to look at it from this side. This ABC situation is biased. Just as much as the show itself is biased.
Series. They're saying that they picked and chose what they showed. So, and I forgot that part when they said that, when they started searching the book thing, but it doesn't look like it would have fell because it was sitting on a corner. That's my problem with that.
Okay, but you also have to think of that this guy, Kratz or whatever his last name is trying to save his own ass because he did wrong. And if this all went on under his nose, and he's protecting himself. You have to think of it that way. There's a bias.
I'm thinking of this, but I agree with Donnell on this one. There was no blood in the garage, which is where the nephew said everything was done. There was a lot of blood in her car, and his blood was found in her car, along with his sweat on the thing on her hood latch. He had no reason to be under her hood. He's not fixing her car.
But what if her car didn't start, or what if something happened with the car, or what if she said
fairly new? That's a RAV4. That was a fairly new car. Fairly new.
I just see how this guy could have bias and just say what he wants. Now,
so can the people that moved there for 10 years. They're going to spin a narrative to fit with what they want to do. And I'm going to agree with him. It was a defense piece. It wasn't telling the truth. You stick to the facts. Okay, you can give your opinion, but now you're trying to flip a narrative.
See, I don't necessarily think they were completely trying to flip the narrative, though. You only have so much time in a show like that to show evidence. I don't necessarily feel it was a defense piece. What are they going to gain from defending him?
See, and I
felt like it was one of those pieces you could go into it and you could go either way.
Okay,
I have friends that go ahead.
Go ahead.
I have friends that believe after watching the show that he did it, and I have friends that believe he didn't do it.
Okay, so
I didn't feel like it was one way or the other.
Okay, I'm looking at Miss Kelly Kell's comment, okay? She says Stephen Avery did not keep a tidy house. He didn't. That trailer was just totally messed up, okay? If he slit her throat and stabbed her, there would have been blood everywhere. And I agree. Same thing I felt about OJ. But they found a drop of blood on the steering wheel. But okay, she was damn near decapitated. But okay, so... But the nephew said that he did everything in the barn, right? He didn't say the house.
I think it was like some type of like a garage situation.
Yeah, some type of thing like that. Okay, Payne said the blood in the RAV4 did look like a setup, okay?
And there was something too.
Just died. Oh my God. I didn't know that.
She was really sweet too. I feel bad.
See, here's what I'm seeing. I see two people that went down. I see they get really emotional attached. They get attached to the family. They get really attached. They had access to everybody in that family. So then to me, you start losing your objectivity on what's being presented to you. So you start looking for little nuances that you think, they didn't do this. But then you forget to put in this docuseries all the evidence that they had against them. Now, granted, those police officers should have never went back there since they were already deposed because they were part of that case. Then you get an outside source to come in and do your investigation.
I agree. But the problem is they didn't do anything of that nature. See, the way I look at it is the individuals that made this docuseries. I don't think they necessarily wanted to sway you one way, and I don't think it was a loss of objectivity because I think if you're a good journalist, you don't lose objectivity. But in the same token,
you don't lose objectivity if you're a good journalist?
You're not supposed to. It's the same thing as law. Journalism and law, you're really not supposed to. There's not supposed to be a bias.
You're not supposed to, but everybody is human. You get to that point where, seriously, a lot of, I know my cousin, she's a lawyer. I have two, but one of them I'm really close to. She gets so emotionally involved with her cases, she can't think straight. You know, because you're not looking at the full picture. And she'll call me and talk to me, but I'm like, girl, are you crazy? And I'm like, snap out of it. And, you know, but she gets emotionally involved. And that's her job. She's is she defense or is she she's a defense attorney. But still, some of the cases she handled, and I keep it to myself. But after it's over with, I'm like, okay, I was right. They were guilty. But I'm just saying, you guys, not you guys, but when you get involved, I can see interviewing the parents. You interview this, but these people spent time. They had dinners, you know, they were the mother, the dad. I mean, they're showing you what they want you to see, and any little nuances that they find, they may fit their narrative. Let's go back and take a look at this. I'm just saying.
How do you leave that out of the documentary?
If his hand was there, why didn't you find fingerprints?
Well, they're looking for DNA. That's what was looked for, and that's what they found.
So you're saying they didn't look for fingerprints?
I don't know.
They found the DNA. Thank you.
I would imagine
that's inconsistent.
No, you're alleging that he drove this vehicle and hit it.
Now, this prosecutor got into a lot of trouble.
All over the thing.
They might have. I don't have the case file.
According to Kratz, perhaps the most damning omission in the series, Avery made 3 calls to Halbach the day she went missing, and also requested her by name to come photograph the van he was selling.
Yep. Stephen Avery did not just come upon Teresa Halbach by accident. He targeted her.
If, as you say, Avery was targeting Teresa Halbach, why would he call and specifically request her? Wouldn't that just be a trail right back to him?
He believed, at least my theory is, that using a different name and a different phone number was good enough.
But that would require him to be pretty stupid.
Okay.
He ran Kratz's complaints by the filmmaker. His argument is that you left out some key things, and that in the end, it was pro Stephen Avery misrepresentation.
I disagree with Ken Kratz.
Of course you do.
It would be impossible for us to include all of the evidence that was presented at trial. That's called a trial. What we made was a documentary. Kratz himself later
said... So you're justifying what you did. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, but he was justifying what he did, and he couldn't even come up with any legible excuses.
He got in trouble. And then one of the detectives, I think, was propositioning women that had been assaulted. So this whole county, to me, as a whole, there's issues. There's issues. Okay. Yep. But when, his thing is, I don't have to file in front of me. Well, you knew you were getting ready to be interviewed. Why don't you have to file in front of you? I'm sure they didn't sit and walking in with cameras and go, okay, we're here to interview you.
So there's only so much, though, that I believe that they can talk about, to be completely honest. And this is the one time I will defend him.
Well, that's true, because his case was being appealed. But now they have thrown it out. They don't want to hear it.
But there's only so much legally they can speak on. So I went to go about 2.5 years ago. Mm-hmm. Here, I went to go see Stephen Avery's defense lawyers, speak about the case, because I got really super interested in it. And there's only so much they can tell you about. It's very limited. It's a very limited pick of things they can talk about.
Okay, because he's sentenced to life without parole. So now they're looking to try to do an evidentiary hearing, which I'm trying to figure out. They did an appeals hearing. They presented them with the new witness statement, which I'm trying to figure out, why is he just coming forward now? Why are you coming forward now? This trial happened and it's been going on and they've been talking about it. Why are you coming forward now?
I mean, it seems as though the Manitowoc County police situation is incredibly intense, and maybe he was afraid to come forward because he had to worry about his livelihood or his home or what have you, because it seems as though they target people based on, I don't know, they just target people. We're just going to go with that.
Okay, so in order for him to get a new trial in Wisconsin, you have to meet certain criteria, and he hasn't met it yet. So the next thing you do, you have to go to the Supreme Court in order and ask them to review the decision by the appeals court. I don't see that happening because the state Supreme Court doesn't even want to look at this case.
Because they don't want to pay the money, or they don't want to have to be on the hook for it because it's such a publicity and media hole.
But why hasn't the Innocent Project picked this case up like they did for Rodney Reed?
I don't know. I can't answer that. Maybe because of all the publicity that's around it.
But Rodney Reed's case had a lot of publicity too.
It might be the nuances too, because here's the thing: is you're right. Like there's things that make him look very guilty.
Okay,
I felt as though Rodney Reed was a little bit more cut and dry myself, but there's things that make Stephen Avery look guilty. The thing is,
hold on, I was wrong. Thank you, Dr. Melanie, for being here. I was wrong. You don't put a needle in there. So they're saying there was a little prick in the top. Dr. Melanie says you don't put a needle in to get the blood out. The blood goes into a machine, and it is centrifuge. That's right. I'm sorry. Thank you, Dr. Melanie. So, okay.
Right, but if the prick doesn't close up, it's still tampered with, technically.
Yes, Kratz is corrupt. And I remember here, he is corrupt. I think the sheriff is corrupt. Now, granted, he served 18 years for a crime he did not commit. In my head, the way I think, when he first met this girl, because his whole family had moved away from him. Well, the wife and the kids had gone or went someplace. And they all went on this family trip, but he wasn't there. The way I see it is that he figured, this is just me, I served 18 years, and that was before I even heard them say that. I served 18 years for a crime I didn't commit. Now he's suing these people. Okay, there is no way I'm going to get convicted for this because they're going to see it that they're trying to get me now. That's the way I'm thinking in my head. That's the way I thought about it.
We're all entitled to our opinions.
Look, and she said Stephen's fiance, who was in jail, had records of the calls to Stephen at the time of the return. Now they talked to his cellmate too. His cellmate said he's weird. Sometimes he's talkative. Sometimes he's like, he goes to the food, he goes back to the room. I said, okay, you mean the cell. He said, but you do get a weird vibe from him. Now, I'm like, okay, a lot of people give me weird vibes. They really do.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to figure out, let's see, there's no such thing as sweat DNA. Ooh, it doesn't exist.
Tina's been coming up with tons of excellent points. She came up with something earlier where I was like, that's it right there. Let me find it.
Okay. I love it. I'm just looking at the chat. Hi, Miss Wanda. How are you? Thank you for being here. Guys, if you didn't see today, I put on my IG page that Red Hot opened her eyes, but she wasn't speaking yet. So she is coming around.
Listen, so Tina said, Zellner's blood expert said the RAV4 Avery blood could have been put there. This is what I was saying. Could have been put there with a blood sample and transferred flakes from the sink, because there was something in the second season that talks about them going in there because he had hurt himself and the blood was in the sink and they took a swab of it. Tell me it's not weird. Then you all of a sudden, it's reasonable doubt. I'm not saying this guy isn't a creep because I think he's a creep.
Okay.
But what I am saying is there's doubt here for me.
Yes, Kress got fired because, he's not missing integrity. Now, what Wisco says, and I love it, he said he was home. She said, if somebody is burning a body, you're going to know about it.
Acres and acres and acres and acres and acres. He could have been
Well, it
hanging
was
out at his
right
parents'
next
house,
to
which was
his
3 acres
trailer.
down the way.
Her stuff was found right next to his trailer. It wasn't too far away from the trailer. Who's going to burn? Who's going to burn your body right next to your trailer and you don't know about it?
Well, that's what I'm saying though. You're looking at a property that was tons of acres. Do I know exactly how many? I'm not sure, but probably 50 or more, right?
Okay, are you listening to me? It was next to the trailer that Stephen lived in.
I understand that, but he could have not been home at that time. He could have been at his parents' that was right up the way at the time.
He said he was home. That's my problem.
Even still, I mean, when you have a family that big and you live in that type of an environment, people could be burning fires all the time. You could think it's a tire fire because you live on a junkyard.
Okay. I'm waiting.
I'm just trying to think of it as from the perspective, like I grew up in an area where people were like that and there was like tons of family living on one plot of land and everybody was doing their own thing.
Okay, here's the thing. It says no fingerprints of Teresa in her own car. He wipes the fingerprints but leaves the blood. That's interesting.
That's an interesting take on it.
That's very interesting.
Let me try to find Tina's.
Find it. Mama Avery died at 83 in July. Oh, dementia related.
Oh, listen, experts concluded that she was moved after she was killed to a different location. So likely the burn burial could have been anywhere.
But they said it was found next to his trailer. That's where her body parts were found.
Yeah, but they could have moved it from point A to point B.
So who's they? I understand it's a big property. They're saying that Bobby. So
Bobby and Scott Tardick, who's the Brendan Dassey's mom or Dassey's mom, her boyfriend and Bobby were super close. And so in the second season of Making a Murderer, Kathleen Zellner talks about how someone had there's a witness that had seen the RAV4 parked on the side of the lawn. And it is diagonal from Scott Tardick's property.
Okay.
Which borders the Avery property.
Okay, so Payne is saying, I'm confused at how none of his fingerprints were in the car. Because everything else was wiped clean. So you probably used gloves. And I like her. She actually represented Phil Spector for a while.
You also have to think of it this way, like Kelly Kell said, right? I don't see Stephen Avery as the type of person where it even clicks for him to use gloves.
Yes, ma'am. I'm extremely happy my baby opened her. I am so happy for you too. And I know this makes you feel so much better. It's like a weight lifted off of you. And I am so happy to hear that. I really am, Miss Wanda. You don't know that. I put that out as soon as you sent it to me and you gave me permission to share it. I am so happy for you.
What happened?
I'm talking about Red Hot.
Well, I don't know what's going on, but I wish that whoever.
Yeah, I'll talk to you about it later. Okay, wait a minute. Hold on. 50 Shades of Bitch, but not all people who set fires or harm animals turn into red drummers, right? Our category is much, much smaller than than others. Okay. Got it. I see you guys membership and I see super chats. I'm coming to it. She said she can't talk yet, and I understand. But she understood when I talked to her. Oh my God, good. Oh, I'm so happy to hear that. I am so happy. We're all happy to hear that. And thank all of you guys who were in here that donated to her Cash App and to her GoFundMe. Thanks to all of you guys. You guys are really, really something else. Thank you. Okay, yes. So Brendan had an IQ of 70. I'm going to show you a video with him in a few seconds. So I want you guys to see that too. I'm going to show that video.
He really thought he was going back to watch WWE SummerSlam.
Yeah. He is. I'm just looking at all the comments. He phoned her job. He had her mobile number, and he phoned her work. Yes, he did. Yep, 3 times. Yep, the majority of them have one thing in common, and that's the animals. Jeffrey Dahmer, what's his name? Ted Bundy, all of them.
I don't think Ted Bundy murdered animals, did he?
He did. He said when he was younger, yes, he tortured them. Yes.
Such a weirdo.
Okay, let's see. They do not believe Avery is worth the trouble. So what are you saying, that the Supreme Court doesn't think he's worth the trouble to even hear his case? Or I'm trying to piece it together.
I can agree with that if that's what Dizzy Me is saying.
Okay. So Wisconsin targets people because why? Shits and giggles. Ooh.
Well, I don't think it was necessarily the state of Wisconsin that targeted him in the first place.
Okay.
I think he had a particular reputation in Manitowoc County.
Okay, thank you, Dark Side. She said the blood did not come from the vial. It's been debunked. Thank you for that.
Yeah, but there's still the option of the sink.
See, but you're looking for, see what I'm saying? You just like
no, but that's just how forensic is. You have to look at all possible options. You have to look at all possible options, and they took a sample of his blood from the sink.
Yep. So here's a good thing. So because he has free representation with Zellner, that's probably
now that
why
might be
project hasn't offered to help. But here's the thing. Even though she's representing him free, I'm so sure, but it's a lot of legwork. You know, it's a lot of stuff they need to do. So here is my question. So he had the suit for $36 million against them. Did that go away when he was convicted?
Yeah, from my understanding, yes. And it actually was reduced. Tina said something about it going from 36 million to being reduced to 436,000. And he hasn't, from my understanding, he hasn't ever gotten a payout.
Okay, she's saying, wait a minute. Tina Elaine is saying, I don't think Zellner's idea was that Hallback was killed on Avery Prop. That it did have been near Cuss Road, which was a couple of miles away. When Zell thinks she may have been pulled over by Bobby. Okay, so she's thinking that she left the property and then she was pulled over by Bobby.
Yes, because of the way that it's positioned, right bordering, you have to think the Averys have a huge patch of land. And bordering that land is Scott Tardick's land.
Okay, so, I live near where this happened. Wisco Girl says, okay, Dr. Melanie, thank you. She says, it seems like people feel he's innocent because he was previously exonerated. And that's what I'm thinking. To me, it's like they're figuring, and that's what I thought he figured too. Because he was exonerated for the other one, they feel that now this time he's innocent as well. That was my opinion too. That, that was me. That's the way I thought about it. Miss Wanda, thank you for becoming a member. Oh my God. But that's the way I thought about it too. And that's the way I thought he thought about it. This was just me thinking out loud. I'm not saying that it's true. I'm not saying that that's the case, but this is what I'm thinking. This is what I'm thinking.
I mean, totally. We're all entitled to our own opinions.
But I'm just like, okay, so it had been a while since I had watched The Making of a Murder, and I went back and I looked at them stuff, and I pulled up some stuff the other day, and I'm like, I haven't seen anything that's trying to change my mind, except for those keys that really, really bothered me. Let me pull up this other
keys in all the different aspects. They didn't see him the first time, but you saw him the second time. There's no blood or DNA left on the keys. It all just seems weird.
Yep. So that's what. Hold on a second. Let me. I'm actually trying to get this other part too together. I don't want no sound. Hold on. Let me get this. I'm gonna skip this ad. Hold on. I'm gonna show you this thing with the. Okay. Here we go.
My heart.
I didn't want to have the music. Let me put this back up so you guys can see it. So full screen layout. this is what I want us to see.
Some viewers of the Netflix documentary series Making a Murderer, this is the most infuriating part of the story.
Brandon, were you there when this happened?
No.
Was she dead there then or not?
Yeah.
How do you know that?
Brendan Dassey, Stephen Avery's then 16-year-old nephew, admitting he
16
helped his
years
uncle
old.
kill Teresa Halbach.
Tell me where he shot her.
Like in the head and stuff, in the belly and stomach.
Critics
shot her
say
3
this video
times.
shows Dassey, who has a low IQ, being manipulated into giving a false confession.
Looking at the interrogation tape of Brendan Dassey, what leaps out to you?
Cognitively impaired. That's the guy I saw.
Young man.
Yep.
Led by intelligent, well-trained adults. It was a manipulative set of techniques to try to get him to reveal details or adopt a storyline suggested to him.
Am I going to be at school before school?
Look at this. He's asking what
But
school.
the judge ruled that the confession was given freely and willingly, and so it was allowed into evidence
Oh
during
my
Dassey's
God.
trial.
You feel confident that what we're seeing is a legitimate confession?
That's a
I would
crook.
invite any
That's a crook.
to read the entire
Yep.
transcript and before, again, buying what is spoon-fed them.
Even though during his trial, Brendan said he made it all up, he was sentenced to life in prison.
But how do you make that up?
Brendan R. Dassey guilty. The first
Because people have
as party to a crime.
imaginative minds, and you have to think that that child is cognitively the equivalent of a fourth grader. So, I mean, think of the stuff that fourth graders make up.
But why would you make that up though?
Because he felt like he was
said
being
shot her.
pressured.
He said that it was the head, the stomach, and the pelvic. Why would you make something like that up?
He was being pressured. That's what happens when you're being
pressured him?
pressured and you're not the cops. You have to
I didn't
the
hear
whole-
them say that to him. They asked him what happened. Now,
Right,
you
they
can
ask
tell
him what
that
happened,
he's
but they're
innocent.
not letting him not say what, like, they're not letting him articulate the truth. Rather, they're trying to push some type of a narrative on him.
Okay.
Now, they didn't say the specific places.
Nope. Now here's my problem I have with this interview. He's 16. He should have had a parent there with him.
Mom.
What's the age in Wisconsin that you can interrogate or question someone without the parent? He's 16 years old. He's not considered an adult.
No, he's a minor. I would say probably 18.
Okay.
I mean, the general age in Wisconsin is 18.
He's 18. Where was his mother? Or someone
That's what I'm
was there
saying.
to represent him. That's my problem with that.
Can I also say something else?
Yes, ma'am.
Kids, when they're like, when people have a mind frame of being that young, there's a lot of grandiose behavior. So there's a lot of making up of stories. He also was like, this sounds so silly, but he was a WWE fan, and there's a lot of stories in WWE. I feel like this is one of those things that, like, somebody that is not there and does not understand the depth of which the situation goes and like the importance of being able to tell the right narrative is going to make up some story because they feel pressured. And I can see that with him. I think that is so screwed up.
I don't remember.
Listen.
Did they ever found out that she was shot in the head, the stomach, and the pelvic?
I don't think she was shot.
But that's what he said. Did you not hear what he said?
No, I heard.
Was she badly? I mean, that's what I was trying to find. And do you know I cannot pull that autopsy report? It's sealed.
There was a bullet hole in her skull.
So how did he know that she was shot in the head if he wasn't there?
What is the most popular place to shoot someone?
I don't know.
I feel like that's like
The chest? Because I would aim for straight for the chest. Bam! For the heart. Yep. So look at Miss Wanda. That was pretty much saying that stuff, and he was just agreeing to it. See, but I didn't hear them say anything. Okay, Let's go back and finish watching because I heard him talking. That's what I wanted to hear if they led him into saying something.
How many times have you been here?
3. This is my 3rd.
This woman has taken it to the next level.
They're okay letting you rummage through the file?
Yeah, you have to make an appointment first.
Local reporter and journalism professor Jessica McBride
Okay, so there's a change of venue. That's interesting.
has become a sort of freelance gumshoe.
There's so much, more that didn't get through the funnel of the documentary.
Combing through the court documents herself. She drove us around Mishicot, Wisconsin.
The closer you get to, say, Mishicot, in the area where the Averys actually live, the more likely people are to say, well, we're just certain they're guilty.
People did not want to speak to us on camera about this case. And they feel really sorry for Teresa Hallback's family, who now have to live through this story yet again.
The real victim here is almost forgotten in the media hype.
A sentiment we heard echoed when we visited Manitowoc County Sheriff Robert Herman.
Here we are a decade later. You have no concern that some of your people might have done something inappropriate with the evidence?
No, I do not.
Zero.
In fact, the sheriff revealed to us that one of the deputies who found Teresa Hallback's key in Stephen Avery's bedroom, then Patrol Sergeant Colburn, now has a new position.
He handles our evidence here and our investigative division.
Here's how former Avery defense attorney Dean Strang responded when we told him what we'd heard. But perhaps the strangest twist in this whole saga is that 3 years after the trial, prosecutor Ken Kratz became embroiled in scandal.
Serial sexter? A comes forward to say that Wisconsin District Attorney sent her inappropriate messages.
He pleaded no contest to 6 counts of misconduct after the Associated Press unearthed racy texts Kratz had sent to a domestic violence abuse victim.
I hope to regain the trust of the crime victims community.
He says his problems stemmed from a drug dependency.
Being the center of attention for 18 months every day, kind of being
gross. I love that you showed this because it really just does. Okay,
I had to show it. I had to show it.
Can I read you something?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I found this. So the state's theory is that Miss Hallback's cause of death was a result of being shot in the head with a .22 caliber long rifle bullet is completely disproven by Palinix testing. So it says the bullet that supposedly entered Hallback's head was damaged by something. However, according to forensic testing, it hit a piece of manufactured wood, not a human cranium. And before the projectile came to rest in the garage, it was contaminated with a red liquid, possibly paint.
So it was the garage. It was never his house.
I was always under the impression that it was the garage, but that's me.
Yeah, because somebody kept saying the house. I'm like, no. I said, I swore it was the garage or something off on the thing. Look what Miss Kelly Kell said. She said he didn't make anything up. If you listen to the whole interrogation, yes, they were leading him, and they were, but where was his mother? And they did.
His mother should have been there, but that was a part. That was a part of the whole situation. I don't think his mother was aware when they interrogated him, which becomes another reasonable cause issue.
So here's the problem. If you're coming to talk to a child, they might have felt that they didn't have the right to go with their son. If those officers gave them any false pretense on why they wanted to talk to him, they could have said, oh, he's not under arrest, which they did. We're not interrogating him, which they did. Still, the parent was supposed to be there, even given a witness statement. The parents are supposed to be there.
I agree.
So, but they sentenced this young man to life in prison.
Darlene is on point. Brendan should have been released. This was just a case of bad policing. I agree.
Oh, Miss Wanda, watch this. Yes, he should have been released. Yes, and he said she was burned, dismembered, and burned.
But they're saying that the bullet that was
they did accent. I forgot about that. Yes, they did, Pan. They did act. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Then he said that he was forced. Well, not forced. That his uncle had him perform an assault on her, but his DNA wasn't found on her. Am I missing that, or am I right? I think I remember that. Yes. See, that go Mama Bear. I already know that. They try to, anybody's son, anybody's kid.
Right, but they didn't even let her know.
Yeah, even if you're 18 years old, the first thing you tell them, I want a lawyer. Learn that word, LAWYER. No talking. No talking talk. Some people think that makes them look guilty. That is your right to have a lawyer present. You're right. And if you can't afford one, they will appoint you one.
I will be back in 2 seconds. Just give me 2 seconds.
Okay. So that's the problem that I actually have with this case. The way they handled Brandon, I don't like it. Okay. I can see him 16. He wants to go back to watching his wrestling. They're asking him questions, which were leading questions. They were actually leading questions. And I agree with that. His mother, his father, his aunt, someone should have been there with them. I would have never let them take my son to the police station to question him. Let me see. Brandon's original statement was that they slit her throat. Yes, he did. That was the original statement. I remember that. And they had the evidence that she had been shot. Yes. I remember he said that. But the whole thing is, he's 16. He feels intimidated by the cops. Again, the parents, an adult, a relative should have been there with that young man. But he incriminated himself because they're asking him, what did you do to her? Did your uncle have you do something to her? And that's what they did.
I agree.
Good night, Susan. Susan's going to bed. Oh, baby, I'm sorry. Oh, no, Dark Side is going to bed. Good night, Dark Side. But yeah, so, okay, what else do you think about that?
I think you summed it up.
But I want you to tell me what other evidence that we've missed. See, Stephen's trailer and his garage were painted red. Okay. No, it wouldn't have been a conflict of interest. You needed an adult. They could have had an uncle.
Right, but you have to think, okay, so here's the thing, Heidi, right? This is what my stuff comes down to. I presented the DNA stuff. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, you have got to have a unbiased, uncorrupt system in order to make accusations like this.
Yes, I agree with you. And that's why
this system was neither of which, and they did not like that family, period.
They didn't. And
they owed them money, period.
Yes, I get that. So that's what I'm trying to figure out. What happened to the court case? There's never been any more talk about the lawsuit. And because he was convicted, but it took him a while to convict him. So what happened to that $36 million, which I heard it was reduced. So I'm still trying to figure this out. I'm looking at this. This reminds me of the Rodney Reed case. You have a corrupt system in place. Yeah. You have rogue cops, and you're making it to fit your narrative. Now, my problem is with them finding, there's no fingerprints. My problem stems from the fact you said you were home, but you don't know how she got burned when everything is right outside your trailer. That's what I'm saying. It wasn't that far from his trailer. But
he was also on the phone during that time.
You don't see a fire?
In the same token, listen, people in the country have fires for no reason. They just have a fire to have a fire. You gotta get rid of that old tire, light it on fire.
Only one on the property.
He's not the only one on his property. His parents live there too.
They were gone. Did you not remember it? They were gone. The family was gone on a trip.
Right,
All
but
of
you
them
have
were
to.
in.
The
All
entire
of them.
The entire family wasn't gone on a trip, though. It was just those select members of the family. So you have to think this is a family with a lot of kids, a lot of stuff going on. There's constantly people in and out of that property.
Okay. All right.
And you've got Scott Tardick that lives not that far away, and
So
Brendan Dassey's mom and the 3 nephews. And
okay, we're thinking Scott Tardick, Bobby Dassey, which is Brendan's brother.
Why don't you think he goes to visit him in jail?
He doesn't go visit his brother?
No, Bobby doesn't go to visit his brother. It's in the 2nd season of Making a Murderer. He never goes to visit his brother. And Scott Tardick's excuse is always, oh, well, we tell him if he comes visits once, it'll become easier, and he's all torn up. He's not torn up. He just know he did something wrong.
Okay, so they said the mom said she didn't know that they had him in for questioning. When did they pick up Brandon from school? I don't remember. Did they get him from school?
Brandon's older, from my understanding.
Okay, I'm talking with Brandon, who was in that interrogation, 16 years old. The mom,
Brandon, not Bobby.
Yeah,
I think they picked him up from school. Something happened with which the mom was not around, which is not okay.
But that's still not okay. You can't pick this child up from school.
Or they might have picked him up after school, like there after school. Let me look.
So right there, see, for me right there, that gives me reasonable doubt. Okay, as far as he is concerned, as far as Brandon is concerned, the way all of that was handled, they asked him questions which were leading questions. Okay, so they can get Stephen. That's what they did. So with Brandon, I don't think he needs to be in jail for life. I don't think he needs to be in jail at all unless you can prove, because he said his uncle had him to to have relations with her. What?
See, I don't agree with Wisco Gal. She said, when you live in rural, you know every car in and out of your property with. We don't play that up here. See, but she lives in that area and there's a bias there. Everybody in that area thinks that Stephen Avery did it. And they even go through that in the Netflix documentary. Like, that area firmly believes that everybody did it. Now, I can't speak to growing up in Wisconsin because I didn't. But I did grow up in an area in upstate New York where people are constantly in and out of your property. And this isn't me personally, but you know people where they live on like areas with tons of cars and there's cars in and out and you have 10 plus acres. I can see where that could happen. And I also think that maybe that individual has a little bit of bias because that whole area thinks that he did it. Like there is no questioning it there.
There's no question in their mind, but nobody wants to talk about it on camera, which makes me wonder why. Are people just saying they did it to appease Teresa's family? Or
that's what it seems like. Teresa's family has even said, like, we don't care where we get the justice. We just want the justice.
And I agree with somebody said the case should have been moved, and I forgot who it was. And I thought I clicked it, but the case should have been tried someplace else. It should have never been tried there. Yeah,
no, I agree.
He was on a 4th grade level. It is. Somebody said in the chat, and I just saw it, and I'm so sorry. Somebody said it should have been tried away from there. So
I agree. Or a separate entity should have come in and tried it, and they should have resourced their jurors.
See, that's what I like here. Okay, so if you got a case that there is some kind of question about, and I know Wisconsin has a Wisconsin Bureau of Investigations. Every state has it that steps in and conducts a separate investigation. My understanding was somebody else was investigating, and then the same cops came back on the property and they took over.
Right.
So they should have never been on that property. If you were involved in that first case against him, you shouldn't have been involved in this case. You get an independent person to come in.
Yeah, I mean, you have to think that if that family has a particular reputation in that area, you really can't trust anybody to properly juror that case because there's a bias.
Yep, I agree with Miss Wanda. And I wrote down the staircase. Somebody else asked me to do the staircase, and I watched some of it. I read, so I'm gonna look into that one too. But my next one Friday is gonna be the Murdochs. We're gonna do that one. And that's
the
that one
staircase
that
is really interesting.
Huh?
The staircase is really interesting.
Yeah, so that one, I would love to do that one too, but I'm not going to start looking into that until I finish with Murdoch. That one just happened in June, and that's a very intricate case. So that's the one I've been digging into piece by piece, little by little, and I normally would have had it done by now, but so much stuff has been going on. So I want to get that done so we can discuss that. Stacy is packing for vacation. Girl, I'm going away next Friday. Oh, damn. I can't do it next Friday. I'm going. I won't be here. I'm going to be in Colorado. Oh, I forgot. You have to, okay, thank you. The police went to Brandon's. I thought I remembered that. The police went to Brandon's school to question. The parents did not know. Thank you, because I couldn't remember if they got him from school or not. Let me just take this off the screen. I couldn't remember. Let's see. Yeah, that's where it was, the staircase. Let's see. I'm just shocked. I'm just shocked. But as far as Stephen Avery goes, my opinion has not changed. Was the evidence something mishandled? They had to have something to have 12 people. Well, they had something. Same thing happened with the Rodney Reed case. I don't think he's innocent. And I really don't. I believe he is guilty. Now, his nephew, I'm not sure about.
In a court, though, you have to be able to provide someone's guilt beyond a reasonable doubt.
That's why
they were not able to do that.
Yep, that's why Casey Anthony didn't get convicted, because it was the preponderance of the evidence. They didn't have it. It's the prosecution's job. It's their job to prove his guilt. Period. It's the defense team to come in and prove his innocence. He went on an appeal because ineffective counseling. They said no. Then he tried something else. They said no. Now he's got Kilner on the case, whatever her name is. She's a bad attorney. She really is. Nothing she's doing is working. Why?
I don't think it's necessarily that nothing she's doing is working. And I actually personally think she's an excellent attorney. That's fine. They could probably still burn trash, though. So burning tires might not be legit, but burning trash probably is. And even if something's illegal in an area, do you think that the Averys were really paying attention and listening to that? We're talking about the Averys.
Oh, thank you. Because there is no conflict of interest, because people get, when a dad red drums his wife, they bring the kids in, but there's an adult with them. It doesn't matter.
There needs to be some type of an adult that can police the police.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, the whole yeah, it does. It leaves a bad taste in my mouth too. It really does. Because do I think the family has received the justice? No. I think Brandon should not be where he's at. That is my opinion.
Disney Me Blonde again is exactly on point. Wasn't it basically a junkyard? Couldn't anybody be doing anything? Yes. That's a lot of land.
Oh, Wisco says when you live, and she's from Wisconsin. And she said she lived not too far from there. When you live rural, you know every car and every. So I'm gonna tell you, when I grew up,
but there's also a bias there. We already talked about that.
Well,
so she's already gonna think it's again. I mean,
okay, Wisco, I'm gonna ask you, since you live not too far from there, with everything that they have shown you with the court case and everything going on, do you think Stephen is guilty, and do you think Brandon is guilty? You let me know. You live there. What do you think? And if you want to come up, I will drop the link so you can come up. You don't have to show your face at all. I see you in the chat. You want to come up, I'll drop the link and you can come up and speak.
That's also a fair point, Payne. People do go on others' property and they turn around on other people's property.
He lived in a junkyard. Yes, he did. So, Wisco, if you want to come up and talk, I would love to hear what you have to say. Thank you, Linda.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I agree with Wisco. Like, people don't get a bad rap for being good people, but also I think they were like very severely misunderstood, and they were just blue collar people, and that did not work for that area. Like, they just weren't feeling it. Or maybe somebody had gotten in trouble in the past, but that's not, I mean, you can't determine if someone else is guilty by that. That's not how reasonable doubt works.
Okay, Stacy, I will let him know. I will send him a text as soon as I get off of here. Is Mod 148 still in the chat? Stacy, I will let him know that you want to get with him. Does he have your information so he can contact you? If not, let me thank you. Hold on. I'm gonna put my let me put my email in here for you so you can send me your contact stuff and I can give it to him. USA.com. And you give me your contact information if you feel comfortable with it, and I'll give it to him. But if he has it, that's fine. She said, Stephen is guilty, the nephew is not. That's what I said.
She still has a bias. She's from that area.
Good night, Miss Wanda. Oh, my God. Okay, so I was waiting for you to convince me. Stephen's guilty, nephew no. Okay, no mic on the PC. Okay, sweetie. Let's see. Yeah, good night, Miss Wanda.
I mean, I think the DNA evidence is pretty convincing in itself. It proves that this was not done by reasonable doubt. You can't prove that he did this. There's no way to prove he did this except for DNA samples when the police station had already admitted that they got his DNA from the sink.
Okay, so they got the DNA from the sink. So how did the jury convict him?
I think that honestly the jury convicted him with the simple fact that there's a bias in that town. And they got the jurors from that area. People knew the Averys. They didn't like the Averys. They wanted nothing to do with the Averys. They looked at them as scum. So they went with it. Here's the thing. At the end of the day, if you are a person that was viewed as a criminal, even if you've been exonerated, you're always going to hold that.
That's what I'm saying. That's what
on your back. People are always going to look at you like you did that, even if you were exonerated. So how's that fair to him? There's a bias.
Okay, so how did they find any evidence against Bobby? Okay, they didn't find any evidence against Bobby.
You mean Brendan? No, they didn't find any evidence against Brendan.
Bobby, the brother, who they're saying.
Because they didn't look at it any further because Scott Tardick worked with him in conjunction with that, and he had a tie to the police department.
Okay, I got to look that up. Okay,
Scott Tardick's the stepdad.
Ah, okay.
So it's Brendan Dassey's.
Okay,
it's Brendan Dassey's stepfather.
Okay, I like what Kelly Kells had to say. She says she appreciates everybody's perspective, but I am not convinced beyond a reasonable doubt to convict either for life. And
that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying
Okay, if I had to be on that jury, I don't think I could have convicted based on what they were showing. That's why I'm asking, how did 12 people convict him when it's not, there is reasonable doubt there. And I'm not saying I'm saying he's guilty, but there is some reasonable doubt. I wouldn't, in good conscience, if I was on that jury, if I'm listening to the instructions that the judge is giving me, in good conscience, just like Casey Anthony, I couldn't do a guilty verdict. That's why I'm asking you, how did 12 people convict him? If they're here,
I don't know, to be completely honest with you. I don't know, to be completely honest with you. I'm not saying he's innocent. I'm not saying he's guilty. I'm saying
Bobby had all the dealings.
Yeah, that was a whole thing too. That was a whole thing too.
And they still didn't look at him. They still didn't go look at him, even though the witness that they don't want to hear said that they saw him shirtless with an unknown person.
That's what I'm saying. It just seems sketchy. And here's the thing. I'm not saying Stephen is innocent or he is guilty. There is reasonable doubt, and I cannot convict somebody on reasonable doubt.
That's what I'm saying. But if I look at it from what they just presented me, okay, he's guilty. Then you go back and look at everything. You look at the preponderance of the evidence. I could not, in good conscience, say, vote him guilty, because in my head, and I'm sitting here talking to you, and I can see in one perspective he's guilty. Then I see, okay, there are some questionable things here. Just like I said, the keys bothered me, really bothered me. Because when they said, when they searched the nightstand, it's not going to fall to the side. It's going to fall behind, or it's going to fall down there. You got to pull stuff out. That's right. That's what I'm saying. So,
or the blood on the keys?
No blood on the keys, but they did say that. First, they said they found his DNA on the keys. Then they said they didn't find his DNA on the keys. So it's like, okay, did you find it or didn't you find it? But
no blood on the steering wheel.
Yeah, but her fingerprints wasn't even on her own keys.
That I can't explain. But there's also no blood or no DNA of his on her steering wheel.
See, and that's what I feel about. Okay. I don't know if you guys followed me when I was doing, when I was doing the Rodney Reed stuff. My problem was Rodney had committed a lot of crimes, But do I believe he's guilty of what he was charged with and being put to death behind? No. The state of Texas actually gave him an indefinite stay. They gave him an evidentiary hearing, which was just conducted. The judge is going to be ruling on that really soon. This man can't even get an evidentiary hearing in this town. Is it time for another agency to step in? Probably. Will they? Probably not. Because no one wants to hear the case anymore. No one wants to hear it. And Bobby stuff is violent.
Yeah, deviant stuff.
See, they don't even want to hear his own lawyer stuff. And when I tell you this woman is an excellent attorney, she is an excellent attorney. But she couldn't get Phil Spector off. But anyway, she does. She's got a team of people. And she's doing this pro bono. Because undoubtedly, the lawsuit is null right now. You're not going to do that. Guess you can't sue somebody when you're in jail, but that's not true, because you can sue when you're incarcerated. So, yeah, I'm just trying to understand this whole thing. But
no, it's a lot, and it's been many years in the making.
Okay.
Many years in the making with this entire situation. They need to let Brendan go, though. Like, that is the thing about this entire situation that upsets me the most.
And if any judge, and I watched the Dateline special last night. Even Chris was saying that, the question of Brendan shouldn't have happened the way it did. And he does a lot of investigations for Dateline. He said that bothered me. Well, not last night. I watched it the night before. That bothered me. And it still bothered me to this day. When it happened, it bothered me. So that's all I'm saying. But tonight was the 2-hour season finale of Love After Lockup. Tomorrow we will be doing Love After Lockup. So if you guys haven't, well, of course you haven't watched it yet. You're here with me. Thank you for that. Please watch it. I also watched I watched part 2 of the tell-all. And oh my God, it is good.
How did you see part 2 already?
I watched part 2 of the tell-all. Wait a minute. Did you see my earlier comment on why the innocent? Yes, I did. You said because he was being represented pro bono by Zellner, that they don't feel the need to step in. Is that the one you're talking about, Kelly Kells? I thought I put it up. It took them 16 years to get your ex to pay your child support. Here in Texas, we don't play that. You get arrested, you lose your license, all the good stuff. Yes, ma'am, go ahead.
Sorry. So Wisco Gale said that I'm biased, but I'm not from there. And I'm not biased. I don't have a stake in this either way. I just can point out where I see the reasonable doubt. And I can't convict somebody or say someone's guilty without being able to confirm that via DNA and forensics and alibi and all of the things. So no, I'm not really biased. I can just see every perspective.
Okay, Maggie, what did you watch? The Dateline special? Because I watched it on demand. Or did you watch the making of a red drummer on YouTube? Because look, of a red drummer. So yeah, but I am so serious. This is, even when I went back to look at some other stuff, I'm serious. Certain things bothered me. But then if I look at it from just what they presented in court, oh, he's guilty as hell. Then you go back and look at some parts of this documentary. Yes, I see. To me, it was pro Avery, but it made me open my mind to think about some other things. And like I said, from the beginning, the keys have always bothered me.
When you look at a court case, you have to be able to look at it objectively and look at it from every single source that provides information. And I think you're really good at that.
She knows where I watched it at.
I need to know about that. So
it's on YouTube.
It is already?
Or you can actually go to the TLC Go app. Yeah, it's there. Payne said,
I don't want to watch any more of it. After Angela, I have no.
Wait a minute. She said, I have no dog in this fight. He looks bad from some of his past behaviors. I just can't say he's guilty. Me too. And the correction, that's what I have a problem with. The cops that went back and investigated are the same cops that were involved in that earlier case where they basically gave this woman a roadmap. I'm gonna do my map. Gave her a roadmap in drawing.
That's the Erica Jane map.
Her assailant, okay, that matched up perfectly with the other one they had on him. All right. So yes, that's my problem. So even though that might not be the instructions that the judge would give, that was still playing in my mind. You can't tell me you can sit on a jury and not, think of all this other stuff too.
Wasn't there something about Stephen Avery having an issue? Now, mind you, when we were prepping for this show or this live, I watched the show. Mm-hmm. And I rewatched the second season because I had previously watched both seasons, but I wanted to see like Kathleen Zellner so I could bring up like DNA type stuff.
Yeah.
Wasn't there some connection previously when he was a younger individual, Stephen Avery, with the police? Like, wasn't his sister married to a cop and they didn't get along or something along those lines?
The whole family, what they call them is bad seeds. Yes, the switchback. We're going to go hit a junkyard right here, okay? So here's the trailer. All of this property with all of these little cars. And you got this long driveway. And the witness the delivery driver happened to see Bobby with no shirt on and an unknown male, but he just remembered, and now he's coming forward. That's a problem for me. That is a problem.
I can't tell somebody when they need to live in their truth. That's the way I look at it.
Okay. If you're saying now that you don't think he did it, why didn't you say it 10 years ago that he didn't do it?
Like I said, that particular area, and they've talked about it several times in the show, like it's a biased area. If he had said something like that and they found out.
And over here is where they're burning the tires, because the trailer's right here, and they're burning stuff here. Then they move a hot barrel. Let me get this right. Burn barrel, whatever they did. They moved a hot barrel and they brought it right there by the trailer where all of these little parts were found.
But don't you think theoretically once they let it cool, they could have done that? Because I do.
Do you know how long it takes a burn barrel to cool? And I'm telling you, I know. My boyfriend lives in the country. They burn their trash. And those barrels only last for so long.
Her body wasn't found immediately.
So she just stayed there for a few days and then they burned her?
He could have stayed there for 12 hours and then they switched her location. That's how murder works. Oh, Red Rum works. Sorry.
Now we're reaching.
No, that happens a lot of the time. People relocate the body.
Tina said the cousin was married to a cop. She had Stephen, never got along. Cousin's friend worked with the police department, and they think that's how Stephen got hooked in with the first. Yes. And no one smelled it. Thank you. Thank you. Burn barrels are heavy because you keep throwing stuff in. They're hot. You got to pick it up. If you got it sitting on top of something, if you got it sitting on, you can't even put it on a pallet because that's wood. So it's basically sitting there. You got to pick this barrel up and let's see. Let me go. Pow. Cut it up. Move the parts of the barrel. Burn it up. Let's just move the barrel. Girl, that cannot happen.
Yeah, I disagree. I totally see how that could happen. People that are trying to cover their tracks, I could see how that could happen.
She said her trash burns for days. And nobody smelled the body burning. That's what I'm saying. That girl.
It's acres and acres of land. I'll have to look up exactly how many acres, but I could see how nobody could smell it if it's 50, 100 acres. Absolutely.
Okay.
I mean,
so
you've got to
agree with you on this. So let me tell you, I worked at Smithfield in Smithfield, Virginia. I was the export specialist there, and I exported stuff all over the world. Okay. And Smithfield is a meat packing company. It's pork.
Right.
On Tuesdays was slaughter day. By the time I came from the freeway, and I can tell you, I'm going to get my map. Okay. You get off the freeway, all the way down. And when I hit a certain spot, I would hold my breath and I would fly. I would do like 70 until I get to that light to turn left to get to my building. Because that is the worst smell in the world when they're doing on slaughter day. It is it's just disgusting. And when I say you hold your breath, you hold your breath. And go look at Smithfield. Pull up Smithfield plant in Smithfield, Virginia. See how huge that place is. It permeates all over.
200, 300 pigs is very different than one human body, though. And I just looked up at how many acres they had. They had 40 acres of land. That's a significant plot.
Okay, so when you're burning, smoke goes up, right?
Yeah.
So when people are barbecuing, I can smell my neighbors barbecuing 2 streets over. Seriously.
Yeah, I mean, I really can't. And even 2 acres is way bigger than 2 streets over.
Okay.
I mean, 40 acres is way bigger than.
That's what I'm saying. Some things, he's guilty. Some things, reasonable doubt. If I go by just what they're showing me in court, he's guilty. But I'm a reasonable person with a reasonable mind, and I'm going reasonable doubt.
To me, there's just, I'm not saying he's innocent. I'm just saying.
Huh?
Yeah, but nobody's even talking about tires right now.
My father and brother, okay, we're not going to be, my father and brother are the smell of burning human flesh smells the same as pork. That is what they told me. Oh, God.
That's gross.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but, yeah, so I'm serious. I like this discussion, but I'm still not convinced. And I wish, so Katie said.
You don't have to be, but that's why I wanted Katie here, because Katie is the type of person that can completely break down the forensics.
He is just telling me that on Katie's thing, she says, I always thought it was Bobby. She's not talking about anything forensically. She's telling me that she thought it was Bobby, is what she said. So when she's available, well, tomorrow, I'm going to get her to go over why she thinks it's Bobby. I want to know why she thinks it's Bobby, because I'm dying to know why she thinks it's Bobby.
That whole connection with Scott Tardick and his land and where the RAV4 was found, but also where his land is. They were kitty corner from each other. It's a whole thing. Here's the thing is, if you cannot prove that Stephen Avery did it, if you cannot prove that Brendan Dassey did it without reasonable doubt, I have to call them innocent.
Okay. That's why Maggie knows what it smells like. Her brother and father are a fireman. Oh my God. So Darlene says they found Teresa's bones in the fire pit and the property surrounding the Averys. Yeah. Payne says, I think she's saying tires smell when burned, and someone would have smelled it just as someone should have smelled a burning body. Yes. That's what she's saying. And we don't be rude. We appreciate lively. 40 acres is as big as you. Okay, 40 acres isn't as big as you would think. Hello. Hi, Laura. Welcome. Tina Elaine. One suggestion was small parts of the body was distributed across different areas and burned. Maybe that diluted per term the burning. Oh, maybe it diluted some of the burning. They wouldn't be able to smell it. I got it. Okay. I got it. Sometimes I can see clearly, and sometimes things get blurry. I'm like, wait a minute, because I had it highlighted in blue. I had to take it off. Okay. So, all right, guys, I'm just going to ask you guys in the chat, if he's guilty, if you think Stephen, this is just Stephen. If Stephen is guilty, put guilty in the chat. This is just about Stephen. Just about Stephen. Not about Brandon.
Heidi, you really should have a whiteboard behind you, though. We got to get you one of those.
Girl, I had enough whiteboards in my office. I don't need no damn whiteboards, because I would walk in, I'll be looking at to-do lists. Before I would leave my office, I would write down what I need to do by this time before I have this meeting. And I got to a point where I used to go to sleep and dream about shit that I needed to take care of in the morning. So I'm serious. I don't need a whiteboard.
How my life is. I feel that.
And I'm telling you, I have one. I actually have a little miniature one that I used to keep on my refrigerator, and I took that down. So guilty. Thank you, Wisco. Barbie guilty. Okay, Miss Kelly Kell says not convinced. Got you. Okay, I'm going with this.
Yeah, I'm here for Kelly Kell's assessment of it is perfect. Nope, not convinced.
Yes, she is, but because she's not convinced. There's a reasonable doubt. Grandma 6 guilty.
I don't personally think I couldn't say innocent, but I wouldn't convict him for that.
Okay, Payne says I don't know. 1 minute. See, that's me. 1 minute he's guilty. The next minute he's not. Next minute is reasonable doubt. That's me. That's what I'm going through right now, Payne, because we have a reasonable mind. I mean, everybody does, but that's what I'm going through. 1 minute he's guilty. The next minute he's not. Then it's like, yeah, there's a reasonable doubt. I don't think, given everything that we've discussed right now, if I was sitting in a courtroom and all of this was presented to me, I would not be able to say guilty. I really wouldn't, because the keys would always be stuck here. There's always one thing that sticks in your mind. Those keys would always be on my mind.
Yeah, I'm completely with you on this. on that part of it, for sure.
Shelly is the same way. She's not convinced either. 50-50. Look at this. Tina, not guilty. Look at this. See this? Reasonable people. If you present everything, I gave you everything that, and you were giving me everything that they didn't do or what they didn't find. So if everything was brought together in a courtroom, reasonable doubt. Thank you. Susan?
I can go either way.
Yep, 50-50. So you got like some people that are saying exactly guilty. I mean, if I look at this part, he's guilty. If I look here, but if you give it to me in a whole pot, you give it to me all at once, I would sit in court and I would go, I have a reasonable doubt. The only reasonable doubt I have, and I'm going to say it again, is those damn car keys. Just by the way they found them. How do you not see those keys? But now you're saying when you went back the seventh time to do a search, and then they happen to fall because you moved. No, they wouldn't fall there. That is my problem.
You know, another thing that really has me perplexed is the blood in the sink.
Yeah, I wasn't even thinking about the blood in the sink. I'm just thinking about the keys.
That's what has me perplexed, because theoretically they could have just taken that blood out of that sink and put it in the back and placed his DNA, because they already took a swab of it.
Well, that's true too. I didn't, but I'm telling you, the only thing that I keep and I see the keys sitting next to the nightstand. That would be me in the jury room. Tell me how the keys fell when you searched this whole thing before. After 7 times, now you find the keys. But Stephen's fingerprints are there, well, his DNA, but not the person who owns the car. That
also, the way the keys fell, like you brought up such a valid point with that. The way the keys fell, they fell right next to the bedstand, like horizontally.
Yes.
If a key was going to fall off of the bedstand, it would fall vertically.
I would
right
drop
down.
If I move, like they showed the nightstand. Let me go back. They showed the nightstand. Let me go back and find this. They showed that damn nightstand. So where's one? Okay,
you showed the one picture of where the keys fell, and that's a perfect description of that.
Is this part 1? Okay, let's go right here. Wait a minute. Let me find that picture with those keys. That is my problem with that nightstand picture. That is my problem. 7 times. I want to see the nightstand. Nope, that's the vial. Nightstand. Okay, there we go. Keys. Okay, hold on. Let me pause it right there. Let me bring this back through. Hold on. That's the part I have a problem with. The keys. Let me bring that back up. That's the problem I have, is the keys. So let's go there.
Conviction appears to have been tampered with.
Some officer went into that file, took a sample of Stephen Avery's blood, and planted it in the RAV4.
Also in the film, we see that the lawyers believe the police planted something else, the key to Teresa Halbach's Toyota.
When you came into that bedroom the first time, there was no key on the floor, was there?
That's correct.
It wasn't discovered
Look
until
at
the
it.
7th search.
You see it? You see what the key is?
That's not how that key would have fallen.
That's my problem with that.
That's such
is
a
my
weird
problem.
way for that to fall.
That is the problem I have, that key. Look where it's at. Okay, even if you would have moved the shelves, it would have dropped behind. It wouldn't be, somebody stood there and dropped the damn key or just sat there and laid it there. That is my problem.
And that's how I feel about it. And for it to be laid the way that it's laid, where like the metal is sticking out, but I don't know.
Yeah, and it was only his DNA that was on the keys, not the owner. Okay, Stacy, you have a good trip. I will get with John. I will send him your message, sweetie. Enjoy yourself. Yeah, it's suspect. It is, and it's the same people, the same officers. Where do you think the key was? And why is it just being found after 7 searches?
So Wisco Gale said
he said the keys weren't there. That's exactly, so let's play it again. Hold on. This is what I love. People are paying attention. Okay, play it.
Something else. The key to Teresa Halbach's Toyota.
When you came into that bedroom the first time, there was no key on the floor, was there?
That's correct.
It wasn't discovered until the 7th search of Avery's bedroom, and it just so happened to have been found by 2 members of the local sheriff's department who had recently been deposed in Avery's civil lawsuit.
Sitting here today, all these years later, do you...
Okay, first of all, did it look like they even searched that nightstand? They didn't look like they searched that nightstand, did they?
It just looked like it was placed there. Like
somebody just laid that key there.
They laid the key right down. And there was none of his DNA as far as blood DNA on that, even though he had an injury on his finger and his DNA was elsewhere.
Barbie. There was a horrific incident but 2 miles from my house. Grandparents and grandson in a burn barrel. My city had done aerial photography. 1-year-old, oh my God, redrawn. Pilot looked at the pics. Oh. Yep, if he didn't do it, then who did it? There, his defense team is saying that his other nephew did it.
Yeah, I mean, I could definitely see Bobby Dassey doing it. Scott Tardick, maybe.
Thank you. That's my problem. The same deputies went back to that house and found those keys. That key. Looked like somebody just, seriously, I can just lay my key. Well, shit, my key's over by the door. I can just lay my shit on the floor too. Now, if you drop your stuff, you know it's not going to be looking, it's not going to be laid out and splayed out so neat. Really? Did it look like they even searched that dresser? Nope.
They just conveniently found that key next to it.
Yeah, his character makes it hard. You're right.
Yeah,
Hi,
I agree.
Oh my God, Katie, can you come up real quick? Katie, can you please come up real quick? Please, I gotta ask you a question. I hope you enjoyed your damn concert. You left me, but I love you. Hi, Leslie.
Where did she? Who did she go for concert? Like, who did she go see?
I don't know. She didn't tell me. Yeah, he should have removed himself because his prior involvement. You're absolutely right.
Agreed. Because that presents a bias too. The problem is that like when it comes to court, you can't have bias, or you shouldn't. You really shouldn't have bias, or else things get all messed up.
Yep, they said they did 7 searches, and on the 7th search, she's driving. Okay, Katie, I wanted to know, why do you feel that that Bobby was the one that committed the crime? Oh, she went to see the Dave. Oh, I love Dave.
I love Dave Matthews Band. I'm going to go see Dead and Company tomorrow.
Y'all better put your mask and gloves and everything on.
Oh, yeah, I will. We're going to be at Citizens Bank Park.
Okay, her ex-boyfriend is suspect too. You know what? I haven't heard anything about him. Yeah, this case is crazy. I have a problem with the keys. I really do. That is my hang up. The damn keys. That's my hang up. Oh, he fit the description physically and he had a record. Okay. Woo! She said enjoy it, Whip. That's why she said it. She said that he fit the... Hi, Gwen. Welcome. See, Katie said the blood. Okay, she said what you said, the blood and the key was what we're saying. That's our issue. It's the key and the blood.
The blood in the sink is a whole thing because they tampered with that blood without him consenting to them tampering with that blood.
Yep. Why were they searching his dirty sink? Thank you, Katie. And look, and the same thing Payne says, she has a problem with the key and the car. Thank you, Payne. That's my problem.
I'm with you. I don't think you and I have very much of a different opinion on things. You might feel that he's guilty and I might feel that he's innocent, but I think we can both look at the facts and the reasonable doubt and be like, okay, well, this is a little bit suspect.
It is suspect. Oh, she said, oh, and that vial of blood that had been punctured too. Okay, see, you're saying the same thing Whit said. She had a problem with the puncture in the blood, and Dr. Melanie straightened me out. I forgot. They put the vials in this machine, and then it gets centrifuge. It spins around and do all this other stuff. I forgot all about that. I should have known because I've had lab classes. But yeah, I should have known that. Okay. Oh, Barbie, wait a minute. My friend was red drum about 10 years ago. When police released house to the family, they found the gun on top. What? On top of the fridge? They didn't do a thorough search, did they? Oh my goodness. Guys, we have so many cases going on right now in Houston. It's not even funny. This man just... There's so many red drums going on right here. And this is all domestic too. Yep, he first said it happened in the bed. Yes, he kept changing his stories. So that's my problem with this. He should not be in jail.
No, he was ushered to go from one thing to the next.
Okay, I'm just unfortunate life. Oh God.
My sympathies to Barbie.
Oh my goodness. Oh, Gwen, yeah, this case is a doozy. I'm serious. I want to do a mock trial one day. I really do. So guys, I'm going to put up Sunday what book. Well, I'm going to go through and sort it out. You guys pick what book. And here's what I really want to do, because we have to make the book club easier to manage. I'm going to make the book club members only. Movies we can all review, but the book club, I think we're going to do members only, because most of the members are the ones that's sending me all of these notes about the books. So I'm actually looking at that too. So I need to start scheduling some stuff like that. Yeah, she is a great author.
Who is it?
Jennifer Weiner.
I haven't read any of her stuff. I read a lot of self-help stuff, and that's about it.
Yes, you're right. That's not enough to have him locked up. But you see, Katie, when I looked at what they showed, he's guilty. When I look at what this is looking, he's not guilty. When you put it all in the damn pot together, if everything was presented at one time in the courtroom, it would be, if I had to do a verdict, I would say I had reasonable doubt. So it would be a mistrial. It really would. But Brandon doesn't need to be in jail at all. Oh, good in bed. Ooh.
Will do.
All right. Good in bed. Jennifer, oh, Lord.
I want to join your group. I don't know how to do it. Will you send it to me later?
What? All you got to do is just click the link at the top. Oh, Wisco, why Citizen X? Tomorrow we're doing, wait a minute. I said tomorrow afternoon, we're going to do Citizen X because, no, sorry. We're going to do Love After Lockup tomorrow around 4:35, and then we're gonna talk about Citizen X tomorrow night. That's what I said I was gonna do. I wrote it down too. So that's what we're doing. So Citizen X tomorrow evening, tomorrow midday, we're gonna cover Love After Lockup. Let's do 4 o'clock tomorrow for Love After Lockup so we can knock it out. If 4 o'clock works for you guys. Huh?
I'll miss y'all tomorrow. I can't be on live tomorrow.
Okay, so what you doing tomorrow?
I said I got a Dead & Company concert going on tomorrow.
Oh, that's right. Okay, so yes. So 4 o'clock tomorrow. Katie, I don't think you're busy tomorrow, but 4 o'clock tomorrow is Love After Lockup. Make sure you watch that 2-hour finale tonight because it's going to be a doozy. I watched like the first 35 minutes of it. Then I started doing something else on a TLC Go app. But what's the name? Yeah, watch it. It's gonna be good. And my girl, I think she might be trying to rob that house blind because she's looking up how much it work. Lisa. So New Zealand time. Oh, I don't know how to convert that. How many hours ahead of me are you? Because Mag is in New Zealand. So yes, 4 o'clock tomorrow, we're gonna do Love After Lockup. We're going to do that tomorrow. Love After Lockup, 4 o'clock. And then tomorrow evening, we're going to talk about Citizen X. Tomorrow, we can do Citizen X around 8 p.m. tomorrow.
Okay, so New Zealand time, so Central time, for example, is 10:21. Oh, no, 10:21 p.m. In New Zealand right now is 3:21 p.m. So it's like.
So it's 3:21 for her now.
Yes. So
she's basically, she's like my son. So she's basically on the same time like Japan. Basically.
They're a day ahead of you.
Yes. Thank you, Payne. Yes, tomorrow when we do I don't know, Love After Lockup shit. We might have to drink tomorrow. I think I might be feeling better. Thank you, Payne. So yes, Sunday is an off day. I'm not doing any lives on Sunday at all. That is my day of rest. But I would definitely be here tomorrow at 4. We're going to do Life After Lockup. And then at 8, we're going to do Citizen X so we can knock Citizen X out the box. That was an excellent movie. So, yes. So, Katie, are you going to be up for Love After Lockup tomorrow or are you busy? I don't know, but I wanted Debbie too because she has a lot to say, but Dante. But you guys just be here with us tomorrow. I appreciate each and every one of you being here. Thank everybody for becoming members. Katie, you drinking beer?
Thanks for having me and dealing with my very passionate argument.
You're passionate. Yes, you'll be here. You're passionate about everything you do. And I like having discussions with you. So, but I want to say thank everyone for being here. I appreciate it. My God, the time went by so fast. It's been almost 2.5 hours.
I can't even get over it. I just looked at the clock and I was like, wait, what?
What? Me too. I'm like, what? All right. Thank every one of you for being here. I really appreciate it. Don't forget, keep Red Hot in your prayers. She's doing a lot better. Tomorrow, I'll be here at 4 o'clock. We're going to break down this season finale. Tomorrow night, we know we have Love After Lockup. If you guys haven't watched it yet, if you want to catch it early, it is actually on YouTube. So you can also watch it.
I do love that about Love After Lockup. Even like 5 minutes after the episode, you can log into YouTube and just watch it for free.
Yeah. So, so if you haven't seen it, catch up on it. If you haven't seen 90 Day, the Tell-All, you can catch that either on the TLC Go app or you can catch that on YouTube because it's there. I watched all of it today. So,
when are you going live for that?
Huh?
When are you going to go live for that?
On Monday. I'm going to give everybody a chance to watch it. I don't do live.
I'm here for it.
Yeah, so I try not to go live on Sundays at all. That and what else? It was something else I had to tell y'all that happened, but now I forgot. It'll come to me after I get offline. So you guys have a good evening. I appreciate each and every one of you from being here. And I cannot remember if I played my intro. And I did play that intro with. You had me thinking I didn't.
I walked in right at 1:59 and I didn't see it. I mean, not 1:59, 8:59, and I didn't see it, which you went live at 9 my time.
Well, so what I normally do is I don't put myself on camera until after I go live. I leave the background there. I play the intro, and then I bring myself up on camera. So you were down there, and I saw you. I know. Matter of fact, you weren't even here yet. Matter of fact, you weren't even here.
It was me. It wasn't you.
Yeah. So you weren't here when I started. But guys, love each and every one of you. Have a stay safe, stay blessed. Keep yourself masked up, gloved up. This stuff is getting bad out here. I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a really, really go get your pillow. Go watch a movie. Go set up. I'm going to take a nice hot bubble bath. I already had one, but I need another one. I like to soak in the tub before I go to bed. So I want to say thank you guys again. I appreciate every one of you, Dukes. Dukes, did you see I have my wrench back? I got my wrench back. No. Yes. So, guys, don't forget, if you didn't see the live about Giselle and everything, it was a really good live. Go check out All About the Tea. So I want to see each and every one of you tomorrow. Love after lockup, 4:00. Good night, everybody. Have a good one.
Everyone.
Thank you, baby. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.